Let's start our weekend off with some creativity. I'm Alana Nagy and this is Studio Saturdays. For today's activity, we'll be creating ink blot creatures inspired by artist Robert Motherwell. But before we get started, let's take a closer look at our featured artwork from the collection.
For today's project, you will need one sheet of paper, scissors, a white colored pencil and a black colored pencil, some paint, and a paintbrush. Robert Motherwell was an American artist born in Washington State in 1914. He was mainly a painter, but also created many prints like this one, made in 1970, titled Africa 1. Robert Motherwell's art is in a style called abstract expressionism. Abstract expressionism is art that does not show something recognizable. Instead of painting a bowl of fruit, an abstract expressionist artist would paint shapes and colors that were not meant to represent or recreate a real object. This kind of image is called abstract. Through different shapes, lines, and colors, abstract expressionist artists wanted their artworks to convey a feeling or emotion. That's why the style is called abstract expressionism. The artist expresses their feelings and/or their ideas through their art. Early in his career as an artist, Robert Motherwell was introduced to the idea of automatic drawing. Automatic drawing is an exercise where you let your hand move freely without thinking about what you're drawing or trying to draw something specific at all. This is one way of making an abstract image. Then, the artist could make their automatic drawings into something else, finding objects and shapes in the lines they made, or just leave the lines themselves as the artwork. Africa 1 is an example of Motherwell using an automatic drawing process, creating abstract shapes. Today, part of our craft will be inspired by another type of abstraction, the Rorschach test. The Rorschach test is a psychological test. In it, the person taking the test is asked to look at abstract inkblot images and say what they think the images look like. Even though the ink blots are random and abstract, not meant to represent anything, the objects a person recognizes in the ink blot show their state of mind. This relates to art and the artwork we looked at today, because just like in art, every person who looks at it might see something different or take a different meaning from the same image. For this craft, we will be creating our own abstract ink blots and then using our imaginations to make them into whatever creature, object, or thing we recognize in them. Try having your family members or friend make ink blots too, or tell you what they see in your ink blots before you draw over them. You may be surprised how different your interpretations can be. Now it's time to think like an artist. In abstract expressionism, artists use shape and color to express different emotions. What shapes and colors would you use to express an emotion like happiness, nervousness, and what else? What does Africa 1 look like to you? What other objects or feelings can you see in it? First, take your white sheet of paper and fold it in half, making sure the crease is flat. Then fold it in half again the other way, again making a strong crease. Open your paper back up. You should have 4 clear sections. Take your scissors and cut along the crease so you have 2 sections. Now you can make 2 different ink blots. Now take your black paint and your paintbrush. Put some paint onto a surface area and then put some paint onto your paintbrush. Using a thick amount of paint, create random markings on just 1/2 of your paper. Work quickly and don't think too hard. You want the paint to still be wet so it will transfer to the other half of the square. Once you have your markings made, fold the square back in half and press down. Press or rub all over where the paint is to make sure it transfers. Now open your paper back up. You should have a mirror image. If there are any spots the paint didn't transfer, you can fill them in with a little more paint, making sure to look at the original side so the two sides match. Or you can leave the two sides different if you want. Now take a look at your ink blot. What do you see? Show it to some family members or friends. What do they see? Turn the square upside down, to the left, to the right. How does that change what you see? Once you have something in mind, you can use your colored pencils to decorate it. Use your black and white pencils to draw all over your ink blot and make the shapes you see into things. Don't feel contained by the paint either. You can use your black pencil or more paint to extend the shapes. Now you can make more ink blots with your other paper squares. Have a family member or friend help out and make their own ink blot for you to transform.
Thanks so much for joining me today while we made our own ink blot creatures inspired by artist Robert Motherwell. Be sure to join me next time where we'll be making clay figurines inspired by votive figures. Have a great weekend and happy crafting.
Thanks again for joining us for Studio Saturdays. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the notification bell to find out when a new video is uploaded. Have a good day!